Basic to successful project management is recognizing when the project is needed. In other words, when to form a project, as opposed to when to use the regular functional organization to do the job. Cleland and King, Systems Analysis and Project Management, 1968. The simple fact is that there are projects and there is other stuff. All work does not have to be a project. However, it sometimes seems that many organizations have forgotten this fact. Projects are not the only way to organize work. Project management is not the only way to manage work. There is work that fits the project model and can, even should, get managed as a project. Then there is work that does not fit the model. Managing such work as a project can hinder the work and be harmful to the final product. Software development is an example of the latter. Managing software development work using the project model makes the work more difficult than it needs to be. The project model can reduce the value of the product and result in an inferior product. There are those who tell me that, in rejecting the project model, I fail to see the bigger picture. In return, I would say that the opposite is true. It is because I see the bigger picture that I reject the project model. Certainly, to view software development as coding alone is to ignore the bigger picture. Yet to view all software development as a project, especially a defined project, is to ignore an even bigger picture. There have long been problems in applying project management to software development. Look at the failure rate of software projects and contrast the failure rate with the omnipresence of software-powered technology in our modern lives. Software development has succeeded despite the application of the project model, not because of it. These problems have become more acute and pressing because of two forces. The first of these is the rise of agile development. Agile software development has made the problems with the project model more apparent. As is so often the case, agile highlights existing problems and challenges workers to fix them. When agile teams are successful, the limitations of the project model are even clearer. Success creates tension between agile teams and those who commission the teams. The tensions between agile working and the project model are visible to anyone who must manage or govern projects. Successful agile teams working under the project model need to satisfy two conflicting regimes. The arrival of continuous delivery, CD, and DevOps added further tension. These approaches challenge the assumption of temporary built into the project model. Projects can be surprisingly long-lived, but the model used to manage them rests on the assumption of temporary. Continuous is not temporary. CD was always embedded inside Agile, but as people unlearn the project model and technology advances, CD becomes a potent force. Reconciling the project model with Agile development and CD has become more difficult, and the mismatch more obvious to practitioners. The project model itself has become an impediment to advancement. While the incompatibility of Agile working and CD with the project model makes life hard, it is a second and more important force that is challenging project thinking: the rise of digital business. At its most crude, digital business is business based on software technology. For digital businesses to continue, to grow, and to be competitive, they must continue to improve the software that underpins them. When a business is a digital business, the routine work, the work the business does every day, is digital work, and digital work implies software. Improving the business means improving the software that powers the work, so improving software is itself routine work.